Hi Flosstube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Today is Friday, December 15th, and this is Flosstube number 89. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. This is a place where I talk about cross stitch and I do some life updates, and I talk about my backyard birds, and I talk about my shop, Stitch New England, and sometimes I tell rambly side stories. And if you are new here, you know all, if you're not new here, if you're a returning viewer, you know all this stuff already. Thanks for coming back. It's been a while. It's been like a minute since we've chatted. September, holy moly, I can't believe it's been that long. I mean, I guess I can. My apologies. I was all like back on track, filming weekly videos, and then it was time to get ready for our retreat. And that was fun, and I had every intention of doing a retreat recap video, but there's actually almost as much work after a retreat as there is before a retreat, and I did not have time. So I appreciate everyone else who posted Stitch New England retreat recap videos. Thank you, because I couldn't do it. And then I went to a retreat, Stitching at the farm in November, and then I don't know, it's the season. It's tricky to find time to film. And if you notice, I am back to being at the shop. This is my cross stitch shop, Stitch New England. I was trying to film back at home and it just wasn't working. It wasn't working. So we're back at the shop. I may have to toggle back and forth. There's no possible way that I could show everything I've stitched since we chatted last in September. So my plan today is to show everything I've started since my last video, and to show the things that I've been focused on within the past few weeks, like maybe the past month or so. And then I'm gonna toss in some life updates probably all throughout. We're gonna talk about plans for next year a little bit. I haven't formalized them yet, and I'll probably do a formal video when I do. I'm also hoping, fingers crossed, to have time to film an end of year recap video / whip parade situation. And then I've got some news at the very end. We're gonna talk about the 2024 Stitch New England retreat. So details for that are up and ready, and we'll chat about it. Okay, let's show some stitching first though. So I am stitching every week, every Sunday. I sit down and I stitch the daily temperature chart that I'm working on this year. I think this is the 4th one I've done. I already have my one for next year picked out, but I'm gonna show that next year. So this year I am doing, I think it's called the 2023 temperature calendar, and it's by Zara Studio Designs or something like that. So it's a calendar, and I'm way down in December. And if you have not seen a temperature calendar before, the premise is that you stitch, on this one you stitch a block, the high temp of the day. The color is determined by the high temperature of the day. So I still have to finish December. I mean, obviously I can't finish it until December ends. And then I'll have to outline the days in December. And then I still have to backstitch most of the month names. And on this side, I have to write a temperature range goes next to each of these colors. And then it's done. Next year's is going to be hopefully easier, but it's going to be tracking the phases of the moon as well as the high and low temps of the day. We'll see how it goes. It might be a little more complicated than I'm envisioning it being, but it doesn't have, or actually it does have a border. We're going to talk about that next year. See, yeah, I'm going to get off on a side tangent describing something that I cannot show you because I don't edit, so I'm not going to be inserting a picture. And it's just going to be confusing for everyone. So we're just going to wait. We'll talk about it next year. So then I had some new starts since September. I don't remember when I started this, but it was before, maybe October at some point. It was just a random start. There was no, or maybe this was my fall start. I think this was my fall start. It's Miss Mary Mac by La Di Da. Get her up close. This was a favorite clapping song that me and my sisters did growing up. I'm not going to sing it for you. I mean, maybe next time. Just not in a very singy mood this morning. Here's where I'm at. I was working on this at the shop and then I stopped. So I had gotten a ton of progress and now it's sort of stalled. I am doing this on rose gold. It's 32 count rose gold by Black Cauldron Fabrics. I think that's the name. So, and I'm stitching it with Belle Soie, which is really fun. It's soft and fluffy. Old Crow. I've fallen a little bit in love with stitching with silk. If you haven't done it yet, I'm gonna say don't, because once you do, then you get spoiled and you, it's hard for you to stitch on your things that aren't in silk. Okay. What else do I want to say about that? And then, because I'm new to stitching with silk, I was actually complaining that, you know, they tell you to stitch with like shorter lengths. I hate stitching with shorter length. The less I have to like finish a thread and start a new one, the better. And one of the ladies who was here on like a Wednesday night, or maybe it was a Saturday stitch group, told me to use a bigger needle, and then the silk would just go, like I'd be making a bigger hole in the fabric and the silk would come. It was like night and day. So if that's, I mean, you probably already know this. I didn't know this. So if I stitch on 32 count, I usually use a 26, and she was like, use a 24. And so I did. And it was like fantastic. Okay. Then I had 2 new starts when I was at Stitchin' at the Farm. Which was a blast this year. Stitching at the Farm is my happy place. It's like my reward for getting through the year. It happens in Troy, New Hampshire, and you register for it through the hotel. Like East Hill Farm is where it happens. East Hill Farm is the one that like hosts the retreat. It's not like a traditional retreat in which you're gonna get like a swag bag or there's any sort of, there's no organization. You go and you stitch and they feed you and it's fantastic. If it's something you are interested in though, you can get the details for it on the East Hill Farm website. And they're gonna be on a wait list right now. But I always say get on the wait list, because a lot of people, be on the wait list and be able to make a last minute decision, because a lot of people cancel last minute and then you can get in. That was my East Hill Farm Stitching at the Farm plug. Okay. So at the farm, I decided to start Dwelling Place by Teresa Kogut. I'm like, what is going on in here? I have a needle minder somehow attached. Oh, okay. So Dwelling Place, East Hill Farm. Dwelling Place by Teresa Kogut. I'm gonna try to get, there we go, without the glare. It is so beautiful. And I fell in love with this star border. And also, you probably can't see him, but way down in here, that's a turkey. I do love a turkey. I'm stitching it on 32 count. I am back to 32 count. So for a long time, 36 count was like my happy place. And I have come to realize within the past 6 months that I love the feeling. Like, stitching should make you happy. You should be having a good time. I love the feeling of stitching with 2 strands. I like that saturated look. I find it more satisfying. So I've been starting a lot of my new starts on 32 count, if it makes sense, if it's not going to be like a yard of fabric. So this is 32 count. It's Atomic Ranch Freeze. And I mostly just got a lot of border done. I really haven't touched it since the farm, but I got all of that done at the farm. And it is so fun. It is like really, really, really fun to stitch. I can't wait to get back to this. The fabric is gorgeous. It's a little wrinkly because, you know, I don't iron until the very end, but I love it. It is a lovely piece of fabric. Okay. And then I had a second start at the farm. A bunch of us decided to start the Charming Cow Sampler by Little Robin Designs. This one I did do on 36 count. So it's going to look like this at the end. And he's like a befuddled cow. He's like, I'm not sure if how I got on this sampler. I'm not even sure if I'm a cow. I love him. I was really drawn, because I'm not really a reproduction sampler person, but I was really drawn to all the bright colors. I love that cow. And then I found out like there's specialty, it doesn't look like it has specialty stitches. It does. There's a bunch of eyelets and stuff. I'll tackle that when we get there. So I am doing this on, it's a color and cotton 36 count. It doesn't have a name. I'm gonna double this fabric over because we're seeing the lights through my fabric. Okay, so I really just got a bunch of straight lines done at the farm and I haven't touched it since. So yeah, just a bunch of lines. Because I couldn't stop stitching on Dwelling Place when I was at the farm. Like it's really, 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 really fun. Not that this isn't going to be fun, but you know when you have a project that sort of just grabs at you? That's what Dwelling Place was like for me. And I'd probably still be stitching it, but then by the time I got home, it was Thanksgiving time and, okay, there's somebody coming to my door. Okay, I'm hoping that if you're watching this, I was able to splice together these two videos. I just had a workman, like a contractor, come to the door and he meant to go to the door next door. So that was slightly annoying. Let's, you know, fingers crossed we can edit. Okay, so what the heck was I talking about? Oh, so then it was after the farm and we were into November and I really felt like I needed to stitch on my turkey, which I didn't bring to the shop today, but I did a ton of work on Sir Thomas by Glennon Place, and you'll see him in my end of year recap. And you'll see him a lot next year, which I will get to when we talk about plans. Okay, then it was my birthday. I am a turkey baby. I was born on Thanksgiving, although it didn't fall on Thanksgiving this year, but that's okay because I feel like I have two birthdays when it doesn't. Like Thanksgiving is always my birthday, and then if my birthday doesn't fall on Thanksgiving, then I get second birthday, like a twofer. Although I didn't start anything with a turkey on it this year, I couldn't resist North Pole by Kathy Barrick. I like that skinny Santa and all of the trees. I like love this. So I kitted it up. I am doing it on 32 count Storm by Atomic Ranch. I started it on no I didn't. Did I start it on I did not start it on Thanksgiving. I think I actually started it on my birthday. I can't remember. But I started it and oh my gosh, I'm stitching it in the MPI silk and I like can't stop stitching on it. Like I've already gotten that much done. I'm gonna get it up close. It is so fun. Like so fun. The border is not hard. The trees are, it's so fun. I can't like, makes me kind of want to be a monogamous stitcher again. I mean, that might be taking it too far, but it's really, really fun. So I'm gonna get more work done on this before the end of the year, but it's not gonna get finished this year. And then I brought out, so since Thanksgiving, I've really been working on almost exclusively holiday stitching with the exception of this, which is for me more like winter stitching, and I don't know why, because it's not, there's no snowflakes or snowmen but the pattern is called Winter Day, and so it makes me think of the winter time. This is what, it's a real-less kit. Look at those little burbs. I can't, I love them. I wish we got ones that look like this by me. So like, it looks like a version of a chickadee or like something in the chickadee family, but it has like some blue in there. I love it. Anyway, so I worked on this for a couple of nights. It's on 14 count Aida. It's all the stuff that came in the kit. And here is where we're at. So I worked mostly like from here over. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I can't work on it for very long. So the floss that comes with it is like, I'm gonna show you. So you stitch with it one strand. You don't like separate it. It's not stranded. And it's, I don't know if you can see, it's like fuzzy. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a wool acrylic blend. And I find that it starts to give me almost like a rug burny feeling on my fingers if I've stitched with it too long. But what I like about it is that it's something different. Like it gives your hands and your brain and like the feeling that like tactile is the word I want. I like to have something different, like so that you're not always touching the same sorts of fabrics and the same floss every time. So it gives, I don't know, it gives my brain something different to do. My hands, something different to feel. I'm probably not gonna work on this anymore this year. Just, I've got other things I've got going on. But it was fun to bring it back out. Okay, and then I also have been working on the Christmas Bells sampler by Heartstring Samplery. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, wild and sweet. Okay, I'm not gonna sing the whole, oh dear. Sometimes I put my things away badly because I'm lazy and I did not actually like stick the needle in the fabric. Okay, so here is where we're at. I am stitching this on 36 count Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax. And I I exclusively stitched on a bunch of words. So I think those whole two bottom rows is what I worked on. I'm seeing them backwards. I am assuming you are not. I hate that. So this is about halfway done because that border is at the halfway mark. It doesn't look like it's gonna be a lot of stitching, like when you look at the pattern, but it is more stitching than I thought it was going to be. But of course the words stitch up fast. Okay, and then at the shop, I have been working on Hector's Stocking by Shepherd's Bush. My plan is to get this done this month. Oh, the heat shut off. So it's early in the morning right now. It's like, I don't know, 8:30. And when I get to the shop, I have it set, the thermostat for 55 overnight. So when I get here, it's 55 degrees in the shop. And the heat has to run for a fairly long time to get it back up to like anything you want to spend time in. And I don't know if you can see, all this right here is the heating system. So it's exposed and it's loud, and I'm sorry, but now it's quiet. So Hector's Stocking, I want to get this done this month. I was on a mission to get it done because, a little bit of life update, I'm going to be a grandmother next year for the first time. And I thought, well, I already have this stocking started. I can make this for the baby. And, which is going to be a boy, by the way. So it was like perfect. It was a boy, you know, it was like a little boy stocking. I think I was making it for my husband, and I was like, oh, I'll just change it to the baby. And now I've changed it back to my husband. I have a different stocking picked out for the baby, but because I now have to stitch a new stocking to have it ready for the baby's first Christmas next year, I need to get this one done. So I am so close. It's stitched on 20 count linen, like 20 count, like raw natural linen. You stitch it over 2 with number 5 pearl cotton. So it makes it like really big, really fun to stitch. I'm gonna try to get this ready to show. Here is where we're at. I am like down at the bottom. I still have to put my husband's name up here. And then I have to finish this row, and there's a little bit of something, like a little scrolly thing that goes down here. And then it's done. I gotta find somebody to turn it into a stocking for me because I don't sew. Oh, and I have to stick like the little charms and stuff on and do a little bit of back stitching. So I've been working on this at the shop. It's so, so fun. I'm gonna get you up close, at least to the bottom row. Like you can see how chunky that pearl cotton is. Like it's so fun. It's so fun. That little snowman doesn't have arms yet. He looks a little bit weird. Look at Santa. Look at the little row of houses on Santa's coat. It's so fun. I'm a little, like, I think I will always need to have one of these stockings going in my whip pile because they're just, it's really, really fun. Again, the fabric feels different from stuff I normally stitch on. Number 5 pearl cotton is delightful to stitch with. It reminds me of when I first started learning to stitch with linen. A lot of my first linen projects were the kits that you get from Bent Creek back in like the early 2000s. And they would come, you'd stitch on this 20 count linen and it would with number 5 pearl cotton. And anyway, I'm gonna do Parker's stocking for my grandson. And then I think I'll do a stocking for me unless another baby comes before that gets finished. But anyway, my plan is to have this done by the end of this month. I'm actually gonna take it home today and it'll become home stitching because I'm kind of at the fiddly bits and that's easier to concentrate on at home. Plus I have a new start planned for the shop, so yeah. I also have a solstice start planned. What the heck was I starting on? Oh, okay. We'll show those when we get to plans. Okay, and then lastly, I am stitching a year at Hawk Run Hollow, and I'm gonna show you the picture. Where is the picture? Here it is. Sorry for the glare. So I have been working on the July block. My goal is to get the July block done this month. Then I will have all of this done, a little bit of this block. And next year, I'm gonna do these 3 blocks and it will be done. I'm probably gonna be like finishing it next December. And if it doesn't get finished till next December, then it will have been 5 full years. It will have been a 5-year project because this was a new year, new start on January 1st, 2020. So if I finish it in December of 2024, that will have been 5 full, anyway. Here's where we're at, because it came out last night. So first row, second row, third row, here we are, July block. All I have left to get done this month is all that blue fill-in for the water on the bottom, and that's it. It's totally doable. I will have met my goal for this year. Also, the fireworks, probably not gonna show up. I changed them to a toile so they'd sparkle. A toile never sparkles on camera, so you're probably not gonna see it sparkle. But I felt like fireworks needed to like, you know, they needed to sparkle. So that is where I'm at. And that's the little bit of November I already have done down there. So this is being stitched on 40 count Legacy by Picture This Plus. I cannot wait. I can't wait till this is done. And then I will be immediately starting a new one. I'm torn. I haven't decided whether I want to do Shores by Shores of Hawk Run Hollow or Spring of Hawk Hollow next. But one of those two. Although knowing me, I could pick something entirely different. And that is all of my stitching that I'm going to show. So I have 2 new starts planned. Tomorrow during Saturday Stitch Group, I'm going to start the Quilting ABCs patterns by Erica Michaels that came out this year. I want that hanging in the shop. So that's like a 5-piece pattern situation. I was waiting on the fabric. So now that my fabric has arrived, I'm going to be starting that tomorrow. That'll be my new shop project. And then I'm going to have a solstice start. And I'm not going to show it today. I'll just wait for the solstice to show you. So those are my plans for the rest of this month. I have 2 new starts. And I need to finish Hawk Hollow July block, and I need to finish the stocking. And then I'm probably still gonna work on North Pole because it's like so fun. Next year, I'm tentatively thinking about plans. My friend Tracy and I, she is OG Stitchery. She told me she's gonna be, she's OG Stitchery on Instagram and on Flosstube. So check her out, she's delightful. And we've been chatting about doing like, not no new starts, like you can start the things, but like if you start something, it has to be from a chart you already own. So like, especially for me, I technically own the charts at the shop, but they're not my stash. But I have a tendency, instead of starting things that I already own at home in my stash, I will start new things, because it's hard not to, that come into the shop. So for me, next year, everything that I start has to be a chart I already own. I can still buy fabric if I don't have fabric that already works. Like, it's not a complete stitch from stash situation, but it is like, I can't start something on a new chart. It has to be a chart I already have. And my plan is to also go through my charts and really think about like, am I gonna stitch this or not stitch this ever? Because if this isn't something I'm gonna stitch in the next 5 years and I don't have a nostalgic reason to keep it, it needs to go. So, because we have a jam-packed year next year. We have a new grandbaby coming, and in May, the same week as, well, she's due, my daughter is due the week of Celebration of Needlework in Nashua, New Hampshire, in which Stitch New England will be vending. I'm hoping that plays out okay. My daughter currently would like me, we all know things change, plans on having me in the delivery room. So I don't know, we're gonna see how that goes. We're also moving our house next year. So we're selling our house, we're moving, and we're doing that in the spring. and so, yeah, so I'm just gonna give you a broad rundown of what my year looks like next year. In March, we go to market. In April, we're moving, maybe even the end of March. And in May, we're getting a grandbaby and we have Celebration of Needlework. In August, we're doing North Meets South down in Virginia. And then in October, we have the 2024 Stitch New England retreat. And then I get to relax at the farm. I feel a little bit like, I'm gonna need 3 of me, at least, I think. So if anybody knows how to clone and could do that for me, that would be fantastic. I need, hi, thank you. Sorry about that. I said thank you as if you all just blessed me. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so next year feels a little bit crazy, but that's okay. I'm also in plans going to try to keep my starts to a minimum. I'm going to do my 4 seasonal starts. I'm going to do a birthday start and a New Year's start. I am probably going to do a start at Stitchin' at the Farm, and that's it. No other starts. And yeah, I've got plans. I'm trying to decide whether I want to do a whole separate 2024 planning video, or if I'll just talk about it in my first video of 2024. I think we'll do it then, because we're getting a little long, and I still haven't even talked about the retreat. Okay, so if you have no interest in hearing about the 2024 Stitch New England retreat, thanks for sticking around and listening to me chat about my cross stitch. Now we're going to talk about the 2024 Stitch New England retreat. I am probably going to make a separate video for this and put it on the website, but I figured we'd throw in some information here. The information for it is up on the StitchNewEngland.com website now under the retreat tab. If you want to read about the information, I'm just going to go over some highlights real quick. We are changing venue from last year. The 2024 location is going to be different than it was this year. So we are moving to the Crowne Plaza in Warwick, Rhode Island, for several reasons. One of the major reasons is the Crowne Plaza has a shuttle, an airport shuttle that goes back and forth to TF Green Airport. And I know getting to the venue this year the venue was equidistant pretty much between TF Green in Rhode Island and Logan in Boston, and not really close to either. So it was kind of an expensive Uber ride. So next year, if you fly into Green, there will be a shuttle that goes back and forth to the retreat. It's going to be October 17th, 18th, and 19th. So we're going to be starting it on Thursday afternoon. It will end at midnight on the Saturday. What else do we need to know? It's going to be, the retreat fee is going to be $195. There will be a $45 non-refundable portion. So if you need to cancel, so if it costs $195 and you need to cancel, you get $150 back. So there's like a non-refundable $45. I'm not really explaining that well, but you know what I mean. What else do I want to say about it? Retreat, the dates, the fee. I'm forgetting something that I really wanted to say. Oh, when can you sign up? That's important. Okay, so sign up dates. As an owner of a brick and mortar needlework shop, it is extremely important to me that if I host a retreat, that the people who are local, like if you can walk into my shop, you should have a chance to be able to go to the retreat that I host. So I will always give first registration time to people who can physically walk into the shop and sign up. So if you can physically walk into the shop and sign up for the retreat, that sign up will start on January 3rd, whatever the first Wednesday in January is. And that will go for 2 weeks. They will have a 2-week opportunity. The actual official dates are on the website. So you'll have 2 weeks to sign up in person. After that, everybody who attended 2023's retreat will receive an email. I'm going to send out an email. And you'll have the last 2 weeks of January for advanced registration. Then on February 1st, registration opens to everyone. I hope that made sense. If not, shoot me a question and I will have an answer for you. Or go to the website and read the information. I think it's pretty straightforward, but sometimes you don't know that you're not being straightforward until somebody asks a question and you're like, I could have done that better. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that my Christmas lights in my window have fallen down. I'll have to have the husband fix that later. Okay, I think that's it for me. So I'm super, super excited about 2024. Just in general, I think it's gonna be a great year. I'm really excited about all the events that the shop is gonna be doing. Again, Celebration of Needlework in Nashua, New Hampshire, North Meets South in, it's in Virginia, Alexandria, Crystal City. I'm not sure because my brain doesn't work. And then Stitch New England retreat my brain is literally stopping, in October. If you want more information about North Meets South, it's going to be a great time. My shop and Barefoot Needle Art down in South Carolina are teaming up together, like North Meets South, right in the middle, and we're doing an event together. And the website for that, I'll have it posted in the details below, is northmeetsouthneedleworkshowcase.com. So if you want more information about that, check it out. It's going to be what I like to call an a la carte retreat, in which you can choose just to get a day pass for shopping and stitch in the lobby. You can choose to get what we're calling an ambassador pass and have a dedicated stitching space all weekend. So there'll be like vendors, there'll be classes, there'll be stitching. It'll be a great time. Okay, that's it. That's really it. I'm gonna try to put 2 videos together now. Wish me luck. Bye, everyone.